On today's episode of Real Life Tales of Horror, Head in a Bucket. Shad Thyrion was looking to go take his friend Taylor Schabusiness down to his parents' basement for a night of drugs and sex. They arrive at the house, they go down into the basement. Shad's mother is asleep upstairs. After smoking some meth, it leads to a sexual encounter where Taylor wants to choke Shad because, well, it gets her off. He obliges, so she gets a choker chain dog collar, puts it around his neck and begins to strangle him. He's choking and he's not breathing, and she decides, well, I might as well finish the job to see what it's like. She ends up strangling him to death, with blood pouring out of his mouth onto the bed. And then she realizes that he is dead, and it doesn't stop there. She isn't satisfied yet, so she goes upstairs and finds a serrated kitchen knife in order to dismember his body. She finds an empty blue storage bin and places it by the bed. She takes Shad's body and leans it over the edge, and then begins to saw his head off with the serrated kitchen knife, with all the blood going into the bin to bleed him out. She then proceeds to dismember the rest of his body, and if you didn't think it was sick and twisted enough, she is actually having oral sex with the body while cutting parts off. As she cuts more parts off, she does end up cutting off his genitalia. She takes the genitalia and she puts it in the bottom of this black bucket, and then on top of that, she puts his head. She puts the bucket with the head and the genitalia over in the corner and puts a towel over it. The other body parts remain inside the blue bin, along with other body parts that she put in Walmart bags and placed inside a gym bag, in a backpack, and other various locations around the house in the basement. You might be asking yourself, why hasn't his mother woken to this? Well, he didn't make very much noise whenever she strangled him. He couldn't make any noise at all. So, since she's asleep, she doesn't know what's going on yet. Until Taylor decides to start moving some body parts, notably ones in a crock-pot box, out to her vehicle, and in the midst of doing this, doors are slamming, of course, and this is what awakes the mother. The mother realizes Taylor had just left the house, which isn't out of the ordinary since they've been together before and have went down to the basement and have done things plenty of times before. But this time, she goes down to see what's going on and realizes Shad is not answering her calls, so she walks down to see why he's not answering her, and she notices that he's not there. But then she sees a bucket laying there with a towel over it, and she gets curious. She lifts the towel, and inside she sees her own son's head inside this bucket. Immediately she calls the police. When the police arrive on the scene, they were not prepared for what they were find in this house of horrors. The police, on the body cam footage, walk downstairs and they take a look in the bucket, and at first they can't even believe their eyes. In fact, they think it's not even real. They think it might be a prop. But then they soon realize this is no prop. It is in fact a real head. They're completely blown away, their hands trembling. They continue to go back and look inside the bucket again and again in disbelief of what they're seeing. Little do they know, as they search the rest of the basement, they're literally within feet of the rest of the body parts, at least most of the body parts and organs, because the body was also dismembered of its organs as well, which are also in Walmart bags, strewn about the area inside duffel bags and backpacks and other various locations. Then they ask the mother who was last down here, and of course she tells them Taylor was down here, so they go on a search for Taylor, and it wasn't hard to find her, as she's literally just waiting for them to arrive. She puts up no fight. She lets them arrest her. They notice blood all over her clothes and hands. As they look around her vehicle, they do not realize that the crock-pot box inside contains legs and thighs and other various body parts as well. In the end, Taylor admits that she had to continue on. When she started strangling him, she liked the feeling. She wanted to know what would happen if she went all the way with it. And then it proceeded from there. We also learned that she had dumped buckets of the blood down the shower drain, trying to get rid of it and wash it away. In the end, she was found guilty, go figure, and will be serving life in prison. without the possibility of parole. If you want to know more about this story, check the links in the description down below. But I warn you, it is a rabbit hole that you will go down that will change you forever. This has been Real Life Tales of Horror. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you like Michael Myers, check out michaelmyers.net. I am a part of the team that runs the website. Come on over and join today. Join the discussion. We talk about Michael Myers. We talk about other horror characters. We talk about all sorts of things over there at michaelmyers.net. And with that said, I will catch you all down the road.